that much. Slight difference.
Was that Bo or was that a cat attack?
Bo's back there. That was a cat attack.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yep. Cat attack. Cat attack. Cat attack. Yeah, just wiggle your foot.
You know, I'll give him props because he doesn't really attack my feet in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it's definitely a kitten thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, fucking
Or when they're like on something.
When Bingo and his brother were kittens, they would fucking haul ass through my room in the spare bedroom and the bathroom in between and then attack my feet, honk, and then bolt again in the middle of the night. And it was just like, there was like several months there where I just didn't sleep.
Floof will every once in a while attack our feet, but we need to like be moving them in the middle of the night because that's like, it's go time for Floof.
Yeah.
And Floof's just like, nom. He's like, ooh, sharp teeth.
By the way, what do you think of my yard? It's a glorious thing.
It's a glorious forest for the cat
And the dog.
and the dog.
Look at Cabo disappearing.
I know, he was walking over earlier and just plop, gone.
He loves it. I imagine that grass cooler.
Oh, I'm sure. And Loki totally jumped off him earlier. He's like, oh, you're totally just pedestal for me to get more airtime. And Cabo just
cruised with it,
was
yeah.
just like, okay. Because he was already laying down.
Well, Loki and Pearl are such best friends. You know.
Just cuddle buddies.
That's Mama Pearl there, as far as Loki is concerned.
It's ma'am.
Hey, this is Name Pending.
This is Name Pending. I'm Keeper.
I'm Mike. This is my backyard. We have a Cabo.
We have a Pearl.
We have an October.
And a Bo's over here around Pearl.
And then Loki, that psychotic kitten is just gunning it around my backyard somewhere.
Attacking feet here and there.
Disappearing into the brush.
Yep.
I tell you what, he's real good at like disappearing, which is great because he'll be in the backyard whenever I get home. So,
I mean, that is good. He's totally just like magician. Now you see me. Oh, look, there's Bo trying to play with Cabo. Like, oh, let me just walk all over you, play with me. But yes,
so,
Loki totally just disappears.
So this week, I don't really have a good book talk because there was like I've been reading stuff kind of here and there, but it was nothing that really caught me and held my attention. It made me want to just like talk it, right?
It just, I mean, it was one of those weeks. Work was busy, but it wasn't hard or annoying. It was just, work was work this week. And I don't know, when I got home, I didn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Other than work out, that was about it. Relieve stress that way.
Yeah, I mean, you still haven't gotten to that third book in the series, have you?
No, fourth book technically, but...
Well, I mean, yeah, one of those is just a mini...
Yeah, it's a mini series. A mini edition.
A mini edition.
So, I mean,
I'm going to have you tell me when you finish it so I can read the book again? So I can talk to you about it.
Realistically, that's probably what's going to happen. But no, I mean, it was a good, busy week. And then we changed your brake stuff.
Yeah, I did the oil.
Did the oil. Record time.
Got your driveway ruined again.
Again. Hose it off into the water table of the cement.
Well, thanks for ruining our water all over again.
Mm-hmm. I'm here for you. God bless Texas, right?
Realistically, there's more oil on the highway
than what was spilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean that's fucking diesel. That's a black oil.
That was some black oil. But I mean, it's just gonna live on the road where we live. That's just where it's gonna live.
Well, next time I'll bring some boxes. Right.
I mean, normally I have boxes. It's just I actually took out most of my boxes.
Well, you fucking crazy bastard.
How dare I? Oh.
And I've been fighting the Facebook marketplace monster, trying not to purchase shit.
Yeah, I picked up one of those Facebooks again, and
Yeah.
You know, I haven't really spent that much time on it.
Gotta get on Marketplace, bro.
I did, and I was like, it's so hard to use it through the website on the phone.
We were looking at it yesterday. What is up with people and some of the prices they put on these vehicles?
Used once, dropped once, wrecked once. 1994 GMC Humvee. $42,000.
Yeah, no, you're sitting there looking at it and you're like, bro, you say that it doesn't run and you want $30,000 for it.
Stalls out while idling.
I was tempted by that Mustang though.
Which one?
The 73.
Actually, that wouldn't have been a bad one. We would just had to have a cover on it, a tarp.
Yeah, keep it from rusting out more.
Yeah. But I mean, that would have been a nice one.
One day.
One day, you know, then we'll have all these project cars.
We'll have to split our time between woodworking and
Whoa.
wrenching.
This will just be our full-time job.
I mean, we could dream, right?
Yeah, Friday podcast. Talk about everything that we did that week, and then every day a different thing. And we'll just maybe 2 things in one day. Can you not eat the grass right here at like my feet? It's
Yeah.
already like pretty low.
I think I'd get sheep.
Or just a bunch of Tobys.
Why would I want a bunch of Toby?
Because they're always hyper, they always want love, and they're always eating grass.
No. I want more Cabo. Look at that. Look at how cute that is.
Or, hear me out, more Tobys.
No, even you get annoyed with your dog.
I get annoyed with all my animals.
Not Nessie.
Yes, Nessie too.
Nessie is a saint.
It was like, Nessie, let's go outside. Nope.
That's because she's a saint.
No.
You
It's
take that
because she
back.
is old and somehow she regurgitates her own bodily fluids back in her body and they just never leave her. Ugh. I don't know how she does it, but
We need a picture of Nessie right here.
right there.
Oh, Mike, I hate you.
Just make Mike's job harder. So, you were telling me you built a kiln for our woodworking stuff
So, yeah.
on the most flattest surface we could ever use.
So I'm not the brightest, right? Like, I don't always think things through. And I was like, well, it's going to be heavy once I build this because I'm not building like a wood burning kiln. I'm not doing like pottery or something like this. This is supposed to be designed to dry wood, right? So it's as simple as you can get, made of 2x4s, plywood, and fucking foam insulation. And a lot of cock. A lot of cock.
Black cock.
It's white cock.
No, so smaller.
Smaller, yeah. So because I just need to seal the edges, right? Because I need to mitigate as much moisture getting through as I can.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, it's going to be heavy when I build it. I'm not going to want to move it out of my garage. So let me just build it in place where I want it to go.
Makes sense.
I was trying to be smart. And instead I was stupid because where I built it was not level at all.
It looked level.
It looked level-ish.
Oh, geez.
So I used more caulk to just fill in all the gaps around the edge.
Because it wasn't square.
It wasn't square. I don't care. I just
As
need
long
to
as
do
it
the
works,
job.
Just do the job.
Yeah. And I'm debating whether what I want to like because I'm gonna seal the outside. But I'm thinking about covering it up with something on the outside. I think I might just get more of that tin and cover up the walls too, as well as the roof.
Okay.
You know,
I mean, brick and mortar works too, because they have the brick panels that you can just place there, so it looks nicer.
you fuck off, okay? I don't know what.
Well, I mean, we can't all care about the niceties of life.
Listen, I don't got a wife.
I didn't
Alright.
say anything about a wife. I said
ain't got-
niceties of life.
I ain't got shit to worry about
Until you do.
until I do. So, anyways, the theory being is that you build the box, right? And then you seal it, you put foam insulation in it, and then you put a dehumidifier in it with your wood.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? And then, you just let it sit and do its business until you get it down to, I think it's 8% on the
pH
dryness
level,
scale.
or, yeah.
I think your boards are good. My boards are sitting at like 10%. So they just need to be dried a little bit more. But the biggest thing is for us, we'll be able to purchase, milled wood a lot cheaper because we can just purchase green shit, right?
Yeah, we won't care.
We won't care at that point. It's whatever it costs me in power to run it, which I don't care.
Yeah. But maybe that means we could get benches sooner.
Honestly, we could do that whenever. Well, I say we could do that whenever. I need to build a stand for that planer.
Yeah, I think that would be the only other thing.
That's the only thing really holding us back, right? Because we need 1x2s and good 2x4s.
2x4s, 1x2s, and then
some plywood.
Yeah, it'll just be plywood at that point.
And that's all like, I mean, realistically, that's probably like $50 worth. Maybe.
Inflation, 120.
No, I mean.
Even now? Okay,
yeah.
Well, wood's going down. Good to know.
Yeah. Well, because you're not going to need as much as you're thinking.
Probably not. I probably only need 2x4s.
You're going to need more than that.
4 2x4s?
Yeah.
And then...
Well, you're probably going to need 6 2x4s.
See? Math. I'm great at it.
Yeah.
12 is 1.
Yeah, probably about 6. So you just get 8.
Need 6, got 8, used 12.
Yeah, you joke.
So, one thing I wanted to talk about. What is this whole issue with caring about your well-being, your health, your diet, and working out? Like now it's not like it's the fat culture thing. It's, okay, fat culture is dying, but now it's, how dare you care about being healthy?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like a laziness thing, right?
Yeah, I really do think it's more of a laziness. It's like, why are you going to the gym? Because I want to be here for my future?
But I mean, that being said, if you go into the gyms are packed. Oh. There's people in the gym.
Correct. And that's, if people are in the gym and people are eating healthy, is it just because...
Well, I don't think people are necessarily eating healthy.
Okay, maybe not the same level of healthy.
Yeah.
Some people are eating healthier, and it's kind of like you're nonchalantly being made fun of now for working out.
I mean, I haven't experienced this. You told me about this, but I personally haven't experienced this. Holy shit.
Did that get you? You got cat attacked?
Toby got cat attacked through the tablecloth. Fucking psycho.
I mean, yeah, that's your cat.
It is my cat.
But yeah, I was telling you about it because it threw me for a loop. It was like, oh, what'd you eat? Oh, I had rice and chicken with balsamic reduction on it, and there's a little bit of carrot slivers on the side. I mean, maybe about 400, 500 calories total.
Yeah.
And they're like, why do you care so much? I was like, one, it actually tastes really good the way it was prepared to start. So I like making food that tastes good, but is also healthy. Like, I don't see what the issue is here. But people just, I don't know what it is.
So, I mean, again, I haven't really experienced this, but I think I know kind of what you're talking about, and I suspect it has to do with the, you know what I kind of think it might be, is we're still dealing with the fallout from COVID.
I mean, COVID's still going around.
Because, no, from the COVID lockdown, right? Because people got lazy. They got used to just sitting in their homes, playing video games or watching TV, not doing nothing.
We're seeing the fallout of the laziness.
Right, and they got into these bad habits.
Comfortability of...
Because you know as well as I do, it takes work to break out of bad habits once you get into them.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Like, it's just part of the nature of things.
Yeah.
It takes 14 days to make a habit, up to 22, 23 days. So somewhere between there, depending on the person, takes that amount of time to fix a habit or make a new habit, good, healthy habits.
Right.
But I mean, shoot, even in COVID, I made a fire pit in the backyard.
Yeah.
It's like, I couldn't sit still.
Well, I was still going to work.
I was and wasn't, depending on if I popped positive on the stupid test that maybe I did, maybe I didn't. My blood type, I didn't notice if I even had it. It was like, oh, I was positive for like 2 months, but I don't know if I was or it was a false reading because I wasn't laid up in bed.
Yeah, I never popped positive for it.
My wife got hit hard though. Like, she was in bed for a week, and I was like, well, I mean, good thing we both have it. But I was bringing her food. I was helping her walk to the restroom, take a shower.
But I mean, realistically, if you think about it, I stayed active. That was when I almost stopped drinking altogether because I was so afraid. Like, I saw the writing on the wall with inactivity. I was afraid of, because I say I was going to work. I was going to work every other week, right? Yeah. That's just the nature of my work. I have to see these systems in person sometimes.
Yeah.
But anytime I had that downtime, I was worried that I would become a COVID alcoholic, like some of my friends did.
I mean, I don't think I was a COVID alcoholic, but I was drinking moonshine and making moonshine. And I do think the whole 80-90 proof moonshine I was drinking definitely helped with all this COVID stuff. At least for me specifically. You are going crazy.
That cat is going insane.
But I mean, I totally understand because we had a mutual friend that was living with me.
Yeah.
Curly hair and everything.
Yeah.
Totally became
COVID alcoholic.
And he was still going to work. It was like, can you not drink all of the keg, please? Like, we had to monetize something we didn't want to monetize.
Yeah. Because
it would just be gone in like 2 or 3 days. And it was like, holy cow, you just drank $300 to $600 of alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, that's how much that shit cost. And I don't have you problem drinking. I have a problem with you taking advantage of me.
I had a problem with the consistency of how often it was happening. I can totally deal with an off week. I honestly can. It was like, okay, 1 week you're binging heavier this week, and it's like, hey Mike, do you want to talk about something? Nope, I'm just trying to get over it. And the next week you're fine. It was like, okay, cool. It was just an off week. It was just one of those things.
It does remind me though, because when I was up in Virginia and I was staying with my cousin for, I think it was like 3 or 4 months. I stayed in my cousin's basement as I was getting the lay of the land.
Oh, trying all his home brews and.
Well, that's the thing is he was a home brewer, right? And I would drain a keg, but he had no problem with it because
he had excess.
Yes, because he didn't drink that much, that quickly, but he wanted to brew more.
So he needed emptiness before he could brew more.
He's only making, the quarter keg, right? And so I'm like, I would like
he's
blow
making
through
ponies.
It, and he's like, oh no, I'm completely cool with you drinking this because that means I get to brew more. Whatever, bro.
It's like, okay.
He had one of the Top golf machines in his basement.
Oh jeez.
Oh yeah, like he was in it, bro.
With like the little sheet, so that way you could just swing away?
No, it was the ball one. The Top Golf simulated.
Yeah, where
machines.
You hit the ball into like a little net.
Different one.
Okay, I'm thinking about a different one.
Yeah,
then.
this is like the bar video game one.
Okay.
The one that has the ball on it that you spin as fast as you can.
Yes, I know what we're talking about now. Holy cow.
Yeah.
He was just like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, pretty much. It was fucking insane to me. I mean, he had hooked up to the internet, you got updates, the whole shebang.
Holy cow. Talking about giant machine getting updated.
You could. He had his account on there with his card, and he could like update his account with like games. It was fucking wild to me, bro.
Very interesting. But yeah, no, we're I think that states it in a very proper way. I think we are post-COVID laziness, post-COVID alcoholics, I think we're just post-COVID.
Yeah, I think we're still seeing the repercussions of it.
I mean, people are still getting COVID now that never got it to start with.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just the nature of any kind of disease or virus. It's not going to fucking go away.
Correct. It will forever now be a part of bloodline. But what I find very interesting, because you bring a very good point, is a post-COVID, because the majority of it was during the COVID years.
Yep.
And now we're after, and we're seeing all the repercussions from what happened in here. Like, we had shortages on many different things.
Yeah.
Toilet paper was one of them. Pallets was another. You couldn't find pallets to save your life. Now all these stores have more cameras in the back to stop people from stealing their pallets.
Right.
Because, oh, well, do this from home and do this, and oh, here's your whatever project.
Yeah.
Do it yourself. Pallets are gone all over the place. So, I mean...
You should know.
Oh, I did. I actually did call ahead for my Home Depot pallets, though.
Oh, did you really? Oh, well, look at you being all professional and everything.
Yeah, you know, I try. So we grabbed some of the crappier ones, which is fine because I just threw rocks and dirt in there.
Yeah.
To bury it for my fire pit at the time. But yeah, no, we saw an increase in do-it-yourselfers.
Yeah.
Even in the real estate market, that now the do-it-yourselfers are trying to sell their house, and people are like,
I mean, you saw that moving into your house. I'm pretty sure we talked about it before, but man, that shelf in the laundry room was the ghettoest fucking thing I ever done seen.
Yeah, and I still just went under it. Country boy lifted up. It was like, done. We're getting done with this.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness.
I mean, listen, I get, because I've got
I've
got that shelf under my window, but I would leave that there. I would take that off.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's a time and place for everything.
If your DIY, whatever you did, is a piece of shit, then when you go to sell your house, fucking
take it away. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Most people don't, though. Let's just leave it there. It's someone else's problem.
Which, don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with DIY, but good God,
do it right.
It's demonstrated how to do it right.
It should be deary. Do it right yourself.
Yeah.
Do it yourself right.
I mean, you know, if I sold this house, I wouldn't leave that box over there.
No, you'd leave it there. You would. Just leave it there. Just flatten the whole thing. Use it as mulch.
What's wrong?
Many things. Many things. But, you know.
Yeah, but realistically, I think that what you're seeing and what you're talking about and the mentality you're talking about is just bad habits that got formed during the COVID fuck up. And now people aren't getting out of them. I mean, once you form a habit, most people, unless they become conscious of that, they're not going to fix it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to stop the habit.
You know, I got in shape during COVID.
I kind of just stayed neutral.
You stayed neutral forever, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You fucking threw yourself off of a bridge.
I just plateaued.
I fucking broke yourself into pieces, and then you're like, I'm in pain. I'm gonna be a fat ass.
And now I'm working out again.
Now you work out.
I work out. So yeah, I'm over here getting.
You getting
pectorals major. I'm getting swell.
By the way, you need to send me the link to those bars you were looking at.
Those bars. Oh, okay. On immersion. Immersion.
Yeah. Because I want to be able to.
Well, I like how small. So they're workout bars. They're just your normal bars, but you can bench anything else with them. But they're 40 inches in length, but they're small. They don't have the giant weights on the end of them, which is, for me, easier to store, easier to place somewhere. And I don't have to worry about them falling on my kid.
Yeah, I mean, she had it coming.
Wow.
But I mean, I want to use them for some shoulder exercise, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's realistically why I want to get them.
I could throw all 3 of them on and start doing squats.
They're not that much.
I'm not saying for that much, but high number.
I mean, you could squat with what your fat ass got right now.
Just my weight? Yeah. I'm working on it.
You need to, all right?
One step at a time.
You got to get some cake going, bro.
You know, let me like work on my biceps, my triceps, my deltoids, my pectoralis major, and
you know it's all a balancing act and you have to work it all.
no, let me just do biceps until they're so god-awful.
Especially with that hip tilt you've got.
My hip tilt.
The hip tilt you've got.
My hips are fine.
You've got hip tilt.
I don't even know what that means.
So this is something that like people who spend a lot of time sitting are prone to, and it has to do with the fact that we're not naturally supposed to sit. In that over time, because of the way your muscles are sitting, you know, where it's pulled this way and pushed this way, that your hip will tilt forward out of sync with your body.
Yeah, no, I don't think
look it up.
I mean, I'll look it up later.
Yeah, look it up. It's why working out your glutes is so important, is because it helps to correct that.
I mean, I work on my booty hole.
Not your booty hole.
That's what bleaching it comes in handy, right?
I said glutes.
Yeah, that's my butt. I work out my butt.
Your cheeks, bro. Them
like
cheeks.
1, 2, those butt clenches. Like you just gotta clench those butt.
All right, well,
Clench those
intermission
boots.
time.
And we're back.
So let's talk about dogs.
I like dogs.
I like dogs.
Dogs are good.
I like dags.
Dogs are good. Dogs are excellent.
Dogs are amazing.
Dogs are amazing.
Dogs are probably better than people.
Dogs are better than people. Dogs are loving
And loyal.
and loyal. Dogs are loyal.
And they're all,
Dogs are good.
dogs are the only reason I'm alive.
And that took a turn. But dogs are excellent.
So, apparently, I sent you this article, but apparently there was a Harvard study done
Yep.
in which they were saying that most likely when your dog is dreaming, they're dreaming about you.
She's snoring, dreaming. So she's definitely dreaming about you.
By the way, Pearl does. It's the first dog I've ever had that, like, constantly, loudly snores.
She just loves you. She's your little diesel engine.
But yeah, anytime you see your dog, like, kicking and anything and,
They're
like,
just happy to
deep
see
in
you.
the REM sleep, there's odds on it that they're probably dreaming about you.
Yeah, there's a strong belief and pretty good study based off the neurons going on in their brain
Mm-hmm.
that, well, it's their happiness. And we know based off other studies that their happiness is they're human.
Right.
Even the shitty owners, it's
Yeah.
still their happiness is the one that, well, you don't beat your dogs all the time and make them go to dog fights and
Damn.
like, think about that. The dog loves their owner so much, doesn't matter how you treat them, their happy neurons still fire.
Well, that's not necessarily.
That's what the study stated.
People who take their dogs to dog fights and don't treat them like good pets don't typically have dogs who respond positively to their existence.
Don't respond, but their brain still fires that way
But yeah, dogs.
because they think them being a good dog is attacking things. Dogs are very simple creatures.
Yeah, dogs are what we shape them to be. I think this is something that people forget about. So we were talking about COVID earlier. Let's talk about COVID pets.
Okay.
So
I should have got a cane corso.
why?
You know how big that dog is?
Yeah, I know how big that dog is.
Oh my goodness.
We have one in the apartment complex.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful dog.
Cabo wanted to fight him.
Like he still had his balls.
He still has his balls. Yes, that's
They're
exactly
probably
why.
the size of Cabo's head.
Yeah, Cabo wanted to fight him. Yes. Because
No, but people shoot. COVID pets really piss me off.
COVID pets really pissed me off, and I mean, he actively saw it. Like I remember this one couple who they had gotten a German Shepherd puppy, and at first they were bringing it by the dog park all the time, and eventually we just saw it on their patio all the time. Never came out to the dog park anymore. It was just always, and you know me, I was always out at the dog park.
Yeah.
Right? Like I damn near lived at the dog park. I'd grab a couple beers, go out to the dog park.
And then you'd have to go back to refill.
Yeah, I mean, I have left my dogs with people at the dog park so I could go get more
grab
beer.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad going to work half the time, and I've only seen my dog for a couple hours.
Yeah,
That's why I try to take my dogs as many places as I can.
It's why I try and always take my dog's place, right? And
No, shoot, HEB has you can't bring your dog into the store. I was like, watch me. And you know what? I already have light sensitivity, so I just wear my sunglasses everywhere during the daytime, unless I'm at a buddy's house. Nobody said anything.
yeah,
I'll just walk in with my dog, and I'll pass the manager, not intentionally to be a dick, just you're in the way of where I'm going. I'm
Right.
going this direction, and you're over here navigating traffic into each HEB line, and I'll just, hey, how you doing? And I just keep walking.
it cracked me up because they finally had to put a, don't bring your dog in unless they're a service dog on the grocery store in town.
Oh, jeez.
Because they didn't have a sign up before, and people were just always bringing their dogs in for whatever. And I think it finally got, I think it became an issue at some point.
It got
right?
too much.
Well, I mean, because all it takes is one misbehaving dog, right?
Oh, yeah. Shoot.
We had that happen in the work center. Back before you had shown up, well, before even I had shown up, but there had been someone who was bringing in a dog that was an emotional support dog, but it was clearly not trained. It was not behaving.
Well, I had to get permission to bring him into a skiff.
It was taking a shit on the floor.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, no, it took a shit on the floor inside the skiff. And it's like, yeah, no, I can understand why they're being so stringent about this stuff.
I mean, there's a proper way to go about bringing your dog to work. And
I would love to bring my dog to work.
I mean, it needs to be proven to a level that can
Right.
be verified somewhere that he has a level of training to a degree.
Yeah.
Loki and Bo are playing. Bo!
Bo! Stop!
Bo!
That face. But I'm
But
playing with the cat.
you can play without barking. But yeah, no, people totally abuse that. Even before COVID, it was like, oh, well, it's an ESA dog.
Yeah.
It's like, what does it do? Well, it supports me emotionally. But what does it do?
What does it do?
Is it trained? It was like, well, it supports me emotionally. It was like, is it trained?
Yep.
It was like, well, no. It was like, shoot, Anakin, we go out to smoke. It was like, I take him off the leash, go potty. And normally within like 30 seconds, he'd find.
Although it did crack me up because your desk was behind mine. And whenever you would sit down at your seat, he would either be facing outward from you or he'd curl up under me. And
Yeah.
all you would say is, hey, he's underneath you. And I'd be like, cool, bro. And I'd just be clickety-clacking away doing my business.
Yeah, he's just a permanent chair weight.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hard. And yes, okay, I could have made him move, but he also knew you, so he had the same comfortability around you.
Right.
So I was just like, I'll just let him know. And if you're like, hey, I have an issue with this, it's like, okay, cool. I'll just have him under my desk, which is the way he was before.
Right.
It was just under the desk. And I don't know, when they moved me to the one corner desk in the closet,
Mm-hmm.
and I was bringing him, he would growl at everyone coming in because my back was to the door.
Yeah.
He was doing his job.
That's what he's supposed to do.
And it was to let me know. And it's not like a mean growl, it's just like,
Err.
and it was like, okay, I know someone's behind me now. Got it. But I had someone get mad about that. And they issued a complaint. I was like, but did he move? Did he show any aggression? Or was he just alerting me? Which was part of his training to alert me.
What are you supposed to do?
And they're like, oh, I didn't know that. And I was like, maybe you should have talked to me before you just complained about something. But I mean, he was there during the whole COVID stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he wasn't a neglected dog like all these other dogs, cats, pets, rabbits.
So, I mean, that's the thing. That's what I got frustrated by, is because people had all this free time when COVID lockdowns were going on. And so they got pets.
They realized they had the same amount of time. They had more free time in their eyes. Yeah.
And so they get these pets, and then they suddenly have to go back to work, and they're like, oh man, now
What
I
do I
have
do?
to take care of this animal. And it
I'm
became
gone
too much
for
work.
8, 10, 12 hours.
And it became all this work, and they had to change, their site. And so what did a bunch of people do? They took them down to the south side of San Antonio, and they dumped them.
Because they didn't want to
They
pay the fee of
our
shelter.
shelters are still overflowing with dogs and cats and stuff like that, right? But just overflowing. We can't get rid of dogs. We can't ship them off to other parts of the country fast enough.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's very interesting. And we've talked about this on King for an Issue, a way to fix it. Kid comes with pet. If kid is not allergic to this pet, boom. If is, then next pet.
Yeah.
It's like, or a hypoallergenic dog, cat.
I would straight up, if I had the ability, you know what I would do? I would get a long fucking trailer.
Dog kennels.
With a gooseneck, and we would fucking weld dog kennels up in there into the entire thing, and contact a shelter up north somewhere and say, hey, we're bringing 30 dogs or whatever, right? And then go to a shelter, get all the dogs, transport them up there in a day.
See, I would seriously have I head up like a local VA or a local hospital, people that are dying, and just have as many dogs as I can legally take care of. Maybe about 20 dogs.
Yeah.
They're all going to have their own, I don't know, home with a decent run, so they can just go on and get and run, and then just have people come to this place where they can get love from a dog,
right?
Get interactions, and okay, well, if the person's dying in 3 months or 4 months or whatever, they're at least loving someone that they can tell their shit to, and what's not going to come back? Anything, because the dog's not going to care. Dog just wants love.
Dog just wants attention. See, that's something I've given a lot of thought to. Is I was like, if I had that free time, that the I don't have to go to work for 10 hours every day, I would have a kennel for about somewhere between 10 to 20 dogs built, with runs and everything, right? And then I would get old dogs.
The ones that nobody wants.
The dogs that nobody wants. And I would have them, wherever my land was here, wherever, right? And then, I would see if I could get volunteers from town to come out.
I'd hit up the local high schools. I would get onto the roster for this to count as something.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. You're coming here for, especially out in the country where you're at, you can easily get on and get attached to some vet. Whereas like, hey, we can take on 20 of your dogs.
Yeah.
But we only want to take on your older ones.
Yeah, I want and if someone comes out and they're meeting these dogs and they're like, oh man, I just really want to take it home. Well, here's a leash.
Yeah, here's the leash.
Congratulations.
I mean, obviously there'd be a process.
Well,
to
there'd be a process.
In the short of it, as simple as, then here you go. Here's a dog.
And if you change your mind,
bring it back.
Bring it back here.
Mm-hmm.
Don't dump it somewhere. Don't shoot it.
No questions asked. Just bring it back here.
Just bring it back. I don't care. I'm not going to judge you.
Like, if you lost the leash, I might ask where you put the leash, but...
Yeah, honestly...
I wouldn't care that much, but...
I'd have a stock of leashes, right? Like, I would
be like, okay, but if you're bringing it back with twine, I would still ask a question.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're choking it out with twine, I'd be like, do you know what you're doing?
So I mean, no, but you can easily get on as something accredited, so that way they get volunteer hours or
even
something.
Even if this has to wait until I retire for this to happen, right? So when I'm in my 60s or whatever, and then I do it then, well, fine, I'll be able to do that then.
Yeah,
right?
because like we talked about before, you're working out now. You're working on your health now. You may not be eating like a saint like anyone, but none of us are.
I guarantee I'm eating better than
Yeah,
a lot of fucking folks.
Eating a lot better than the majority. It's like, what do you eat? Rice and chicken. It's like, what do you eat? Pizza. What are you eating? Pizza.
What'd you eat yesterday?
Pizza.
What'd you eat the day before?
Pizza.
Okay. Do you ever do any activity outside of playing video games?
Pizza.
But yeah, I am, animals are very important to me. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those.
I'm not the perfect master either. Like, there's sometimes my dog's annoyed the living crap out of me.
Well, yeah.
But it's just like, just let me exist. But both of them, I've noticed they're very close to a toddler. They let you know what they need.
Yeah.
Very simply. So I've taken that into account as like, okay, you're being super overly loving. What do you want?
Right.
And then normally it's, oh, you want to go outside? Or, oh, it's 5 o'clock. It's time for dinner. It's like, okay.
I mean, I know when Cabo's food time is.
Oh, yeah, because it goes off and you hear it and he's just like...
If the food is not going off for some reason, you can tell. You can see it in his demeanor because Cabo knows when food time is.
It's food time. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten all day. That's a lie.
But sitting there an hour ahead of time, sitting in the shop and just watching him stare at the door.
Just wait.
Just sitting and waiting.
Well, you gotta think, he went from the apartment to having full reign.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a doggy door, automatic feeders.
Full reign, and he knows it goes off. So, I mean, he's just like, at this point, he waits for food. And then you to come home. He has you come home and food.
But the funniest thing is every time after he eats, he gets really happy and he just wants to cuddle with me and get pet. And
so on the days that you come home late, it was like, food. Well, I'm waiting for my master.
Yeah,
my master's home.
Where is he?
I am all up in his business.
Yes.
And I am not leaving his side.
Whenever I come home late, my dogs, you can see it in their demeanor that it's been too long.
But so that was another study that was done. Hours and minutes don't mean anything to dogs.
No.
They're all the same.
No.
And this is proven. Go take your trash out where they can't see you and then come back. They're going to treat you the same way as if you've been gone for hours.
But they do recognize certain times.
Yes,
in
they
routines.
do understand routines. I wouldn't say times, but they do understand routines and the way things look.
Yeah. Well, I would argue on time because he knows when his food is supposed to be going on.
And I would argue that would be routine. I mean,
Yeah.
that's terminology at this point,
Right,
but yeah,
right.
very similar. It just, I'll walk out to take out the trash, and I'll come back in and Bo will be like, "You've been gone forever. Oh my goodness."
God forbid I start the truck. Like, I'm not even going anywhere. I'm just moving the truck.
Yeah, no, that's Toby. If she hears me start the truck, or if Bo walks out front with me, she's like, "Why am I not coming? What's going on? Where are you taking him? Why are you going without me?"
My dog's reaction to the truck, if I open the door on the truck.
I started the truck, and Pearl couldn't see you. And then she comes around, sees me in the truck, is like, "You're not my dad. Where's my dad? Why is the truck started? Where's my dad?" It's like, it looked like she was about to cry. It's like, I started the truck and you were gone. I don't remember where you walked. I think you just walked around the truck. But you were gone.
Yeah, no, Pearl is very much a clingy dog.
Oh, that's saying it very lightly. 8 minutes.
Okay. So I talked on the podcast about the camping trip in which I left Pearl in Cabo.
No, I don't think you have.
It wasn't with you. I was going camping with Steven. So I went camping with Steven out to Garner State Park one time, right? And my dumbass didn't bring my clothing bag. I brought literally everything else but my clothing bag.
So you're going to the closest Wally World or local store,
Which is an hour and a half away.
Oof.
Like actual like pants and shirt. That's all I needed is a pants and shirt change, right? Yeah. Because I'll commando this, but I knew I was going to be out there over a weekend. I need one change of clothes because
I knew something to get me by.
I'm out there walking around and stuff like that. Doesn't matter.
I can wash a pair of clothes and
doesn't matter that it's winter, but it's gonna get stanky.
Yeah.
Right. And I also needed a hygiene kit, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't want to load up the dogs and do all that.
So you left him with Steve.
So I left him with Steve. And he said, like, I hadn't had Pearl for too long at this point.
Screaming bloody murder.
No, she was apparently looking at Steven and like wolfing at him in like a, you could tell, where the fuck is my person? Bring him back.
Oh my God.
Like she was upset.
She was not happy.
Yeah, she was not a happy Pearl.
Oh my goodness. Like Cabo, okay, I mean, Cabo would get over it eventually.
Yeah, Cabo got over it.
But
he knows I'm coming back.
Pearl was like,
but
no.
Pearl had already been passed around at this point.
So she is hurt.
Yeah. And like, I was the person who was like, this is my dog, I'm keeping her. And she's like, he's keeping me, right? Like, he's not abandoning me.
Well, that was the way Bo's been. So for the longest time, like he's 9 months. 9 months. He's just now getting to the point that he's like, okay, just because I'm in the car does not mean I'm going to the vet.
Oh, no.
Like, and because we're still using the same vet, but I'm going with him, he has now understood that, well, I'm going back with him, so I don't care. So we'll go to the vet, and he'll 100% be like, oh, dear God, I've been to this place before. And it's like, that means I'm going to be here for a little bit. He gets there, and like, no, we're good. And he leaves with me, and then he's the happiest dog as ever. But his big thing is, I'm curious, is like, he went from birthing plantation in Arkansas to where we're at now. And that's just the way it's been. So it's never been one of those anything else. And I know he had his checkups there.
Yeah.
But he's only been with me. But how many times did he get checkups there? How many times did he get freaked out like Pearl by the passed around mentality?
Yeah.
How many people came in and out of the shop and played with him?
Well, I mean, that was the funniest thing with Cabo. I know I haven't talked about this on podcast. When I got Cabo, I had said, like, I had Bingo, right? My old man cat, who's 19.
Who hasn't died.
Who hasn't died, somehow. But I was like, man, I really fucking need a dog because
I need a companion.
I'd gone through all the time in the Army. I didn't have a dog.
You were fiending for a dog.
I had dogs the entire time I was growing up. At my mom's house, at my dad's. At my mom's house, we had 4 dogs.
My first apartment in the military had a dog.
So I go to the SPCA, right? The one over there at I-10 and 410.
I know exactly where you're talking.
And I'm like, well, what about this dog? And they're like, well, we need to contact your apartment complex. And then they're like, well, they have restrictions on German Shepherds. And then I'd like send and they were calling my apartment complex and they're like, yeah, it's fine. It doesn't look like a German Shepherd. I know you're saying that it's probably got some German Shepherd in it, but it doesn't look like a German Shepherd. It's fine. Right? And so it was like, it was this struggle, this fight to try and get a dog from these people. And I am a successful person. I have a dog park. I have space. I have, like, I'm at home.
Yeah, and I'd take took my dogs out for a while. Like,
Right.
when we got Nessie, I walked in there, I want this dog in and out in like 10, 15 minutes.
No, I was fighting desperately to try and get a dog. So there were several dogs where I tried to get them, and it was like, yeah, no, well, I mean, you know. And finally I got fed up because I spent like half of a Saturday. Like, it was about lunchtime when I was getting hangry that I finally said, you know what, fuck this. I'm leaving. And I get home and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm sitting on the toilet taking a shit, and I was like, I'm gonna get on Craigslist. And I did. I got on
Anakin was a
Craigslist,
Craigslist dog.
and I was looking at, there was a pretty fucking, you know,
Catahoula.
Catahoula on there, or not Catahoula, because this wasn't Pearl, this was Cabo.
Oh, okay.
There was a pretty healer on there. I saw Cabo on there. They said free dog. Just wanted to go to a good home.
I was like, that's me.
And I messaged the guy. He's like, yeah, I'll come by the place. And he brings Cabo out to my apartment to check out the place. He's like, I mean, I don't know about the apartment. And I was like, well, I've got a dog park right there within just no distance from me. He's got plenty of space to walk through. He's got this apartment. It's not like I'm not going to be around. And he's like, all right. So he gives me the dog, gives me his information, his medical records and everything like that, and then dips. But Cabo acted like nothing had happened. Cabo was roughly 2 years old at that point.
Okay.
But he acted like he didn't just lose his owner. He was completely unfazed.
Nessie was skittish. I went there for a bloodhound, got hurt.
And when I say Cabo like glued onto me, I became his person. Like, I was his person.
That's the way Anakin was. Like,
oh yeah, you were Anakin's
we
person.
brought him to the apartment for Jess. Infested. Starbuck first met him before Bulge Starbuck.
Yeah.
And he was like, ooh, plaything. Like, Starbuck was wagging his butt and everything, and we bathed him in the guest shower, and that was it. Like, and even then, he was sleeping on Jess's chest, but every time I came home,
You're
he
the
was my
person.
dog.
Yeah.
He may have always slept with Jess, but he was my dog.
Dude, Anakin was awesome.
I miss Anakin.
I miss Anakin.
And I miss OG Starbuck, too.
I only knew bulging
Only
Starbuck.
But he was the same way.
Yeah. I only knew the creepy eyes Starbuck where that thing would look like it was. I will never, ever forget when he was sitting on my lap that one time.
100% this is his eye.
Well, he went to yawn, and when he yawned, his eye like started bugging out, and I was absolutely fucking convinced it was about to pop out of his fucking head. Holy shit, that was terrifying.
But shoot, we brought him back here, and his last days he ran like the best of him, and then you could see he was done.
No, I mean, he was hurting, but he was down to run.
Yeah, and then he was just like,
Ow.
ow. I was like, yeah, no. But that's it for this segment. We're going to catch you on the next segment.
Dogs are the best.
Dogs are the best. What side they're on?
Okay, what were we talking about?
We were talking about conspiracies in Star Wars where the Skywalker saga is made up of women that can do no wrong, which stemmed from the MCU.
No. I'm talking about the new Star Wars. I'm talking about Disney Star Wars.
Well, I was trying to give everybody a backstory of what we were talking about
continue.
before you just dove into it.
Wow, my bad.
Yeah, back up.
Fuck.
So from MCU is where we stemmed from, but all the guys are made fools in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And all the girls can't do wrong, and they're leading all these different things.
So let's
Quick
talk.
little clip notes version.
Let's talk about Disney Star Wars, right?
Okay.
What, like, the most interesting characters are, in my opinion, Kylo Ren and Finn.
Mando.
Well, no, I'm talking about the movies, right?
Oh, just the movies?
Just the movies. Like, yes, I agree. The Mandalorian, yeah, that was fantastic, right? But Kylo Ren and Finn in the first movie, because Finn got character assassinated along the way.
Finn, I thought was great. I wouldn't say Kylo Ren because he was just a whiny toddler his whole time.
No, and I disagree with you completely. I'm saying that, yes, he was full of angst, no more angst than fucking Skywalker was. Skywalker was an angsty little bitch the entire time, through all 3 movies.
Dad or son?
Luke.
Okay, son.
Yeah, Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, he was vengeful, angsty. I could state that.
Yeah, he was angsty, and let's be honest, Anakin was a little bit angsty.
He wanted to change the world. He had too much drive. I think pride was his
No, he
issue.
just wanted to fuck some princess, okay?
And which is where I say pride was his issue. He thought he was the best thing
And she
ever.
was a cradle robber.
Best thing ever? Forever, ever?
Forever, ever. But my thing is that, listen, it is bullshit that Rey can just pick up a lightsaber and just know how to use it. One of the most deadliest fucking hard to control weapons in the Star Wars universe.
But she didn't know how to use it, and it's shown.
She did know how to use it.
No,
she picked it up.
She knew how
she
to
went,
swing a staff.
She went
which is very closely related.
No, a staff is not closely related to a sword.
How many times was she disarmed by Kylo?
She wasn't disarmed by Kylo all that many times.
Really?
She went lightsaber to lightsaber with Kylo.
And how many times was she disarmed?
Okay, hold up. Let's pull up. Hold up, right there. Pull up the thing, because we're going to be playing audio from some video. We're going to have to cut this part. But I want to see the Kylo Ren Rey fight right here.
Kylo Ren. All right, Kylo Ren and Rey.
The movie 7, right? I don't remember.
All right, so there's swinging the swords. It's blue sword.
Wait, no, this isn't it.
Yeah,
They were
see,
in a-
this
they-
is after she.
No,
already-
this was in their first fight was in that forest. On the Death Star repeat.
Kylo and Rey. All right, so no sword right here with Finn. He grabs a sword, completely useless with it, but he has a general understanding of a sword.
He shouldn't have an understanding of a sword. Again,
Why would we not have a general understanding of a sword? Has he not seen enough?
It's a lightsaber. So a lightsaber is canonically is supposed to be very difficult and very dangerous to handle.
Dangerous to handle, sure, but I think people understand the general understanding of a sword. Like, think about it. When you were
Why
a
would
kid,
they understand the general understanding of a sword? Where else in the Star Wars universe do you see people using swords besides the Jedi?
at this time, all the Sith were using swords.
No. When in the movies, canonically, do you see them? I'm not talking about the extended universe that got retconned. I'm talking about in the canon. Where do you see them using swords?
Okay, all
I'm not
we
talking
touch
about
on is the story.
New Republic.
We never touch on any of their life or how they grew up or what they understood or what they saw.
We can't. We're basing it all off the movies. And all we see in the movies is Rey using a staff of some kind.
And this is what happens right here. We see she has the Force coming right here. So that shows she has value somewhere. So she has a internal understanding
So she has some understanding. Oh my God, Mary Sue,
So
I
she's
understand
already-
the Force
She's
better.
already been disarmed once.
I understand. No, she wasn't
she wasn't disarmed from a lightsaber. She was disarmed from her fucking staff.
She had the lightsaber.
And look,
originally.
she's handling the lightsaber, and now she's going toe-to-toe with someone who's actually a trained Jedi.
Correct.
Look at this
Partially
bullshit.
trained
Look at this
Jedi.
bullshit.
But he's just acting out of anger.
What does that have to do with anything? You act like she doesn't act out with emotion the entire time. All she was trained with was emotion.
The thing is, she wasn't really trained. That's
No,
the
she
difference.
wasn't trained. That's my thing. She wasn't trained at all. So why are we basing this and sitting there going,
Because
oh,
we're
well, it makes
basing it off
perfect
of-
sense that she knows how to use a fucking lightsaber.
Because she used a staff the whole time she was scavenging.
What does a staff have to do with a sword?
Because it's very basically
No,
similar.
it basically isn't anything similar. It's not the same forms. It's not the same forms at all. Show me where those are staff forms. Where are these staff forms?
Okay.
A sword form
if a
is a
staff
different from
broken
a
in
staff
half,
form.
do they not still learn in any?
Wait, no, we saw her use a staff. We didn't see her use a broken in half staff.
So you're telling me throughout her whole life she's only used one staff? She's never
All we can base it off is what we see in the movies. We can't base it off your fucking
Interpretation.
potential interpretation of maybe this could have been a thing
But what
potentially.
if it's meant to?
Why?
Why wouldn't
What?
it be meant
All
to?
I'm saying is that a lightsaber is supposed to be one of the most dangerous weapons in the universe, one of the most hard to handle weapons in the universe, and our Mary
And where are
Sue
we
here,
basing that off
and our
of?
Mary Sue here picks it. We're basing this off of fucking OG Star Wars.
Well, where do you see that it's hard? Because Luke first got it, and he looks down the end of it and uses it.
No, he doesn't use it when he first gets it. He turns it on and turns it off, and then proceeds to receive training from Obi-Wan on the ship and sucks at it.
He uses training for the Force, not for how to use the sword.
No, he uses it for the sword.
No, he uses
and
it
the
for
Force.
the Force.
He uses it for both.
I would
Look at
disagree
her.
on that
Look at her.
one.
She's kicking Kylo Ren's ass. How does that fucking make sense?
Because
he is a fully
making-
trained Jedi.
No, he's not fully trained to start. He is making judgment
Well, she's
calls.
a nothing trained. She is a nothing trained Jedi.
Correct. She's a nothing trained. But when you are acting out of impulse, then you see you have faults. And that's what I believe this scene is trying to show. And she disarmed him here.
Yeah, she disarmed him.
After
Woman who's
he
never
disarmed her the first time.
who disarmed her from her staff, not a fucking lightsaber.
Was she or was she not still disarmed? My statement still stands.
Your statement stands. I will give you that. But all I'm saying is that you have not fucking identified the problem with the fact that she just picks up a lightsaber and knows how to use it, whereas a fucking stormtrooper couldn't even fucking use a lightsaber. Demonstrated.
It's not that they couldn't pick it up. They could pick it up. But you also got to understand that most power buttons on it weren't in the same spot. That is canon. Before Extended Universe.
What does that have to do with anything in the argument?
Because how is a stormtrooper going to pick up a random lightsaber and turn it on if he doesn't know where the power button is?
He did turn it on.
Stormtrooper. What stormtrooper?
Yeah, Finn.
Okay. He turned on hers because he's been around her lightsaber. So he knew where her power button was.
Yeah.
Not every lightsaber has
It's the same lightsaber. What does the power button have to do with anything in the
because they were
argument?
never put on the same spot. Because you brought up
No. They both use the same lightsaber.
because yes,
And Finn got his ass kicked. A trained professional soldier who you said used something similar to a lightsaber. That was at the beginning of this argument.
not him, her. Yes.
What did she use? Her bow staff, a staff, is not a sword.
Okay. I'm only going off the statement that you stated a stormtrooper wouldn't be able to pick up and use. You're right, they wouldn't because they don't. You're normal, not Finn.
Some random
one wouldn't be able to pick it up and know where the power button is on the
some
lightsaber.
random scavenger that they found on a desert planet isn't going to pick up a lightsaber and know where to find a fucking power button.
Unless you have the Force.
Oh, what does the Force have to do with knowing where a physical button is on a lightsaber?
The whole story is started by the Force. Your father, like, the whole story is based off of the Force. So what do you mean, what does that have to do with it? Like,
And again, how is she just
oh, I'm the magical wizardess who is the epitome of every Force user out there from the beginning.
I mean,
Everyone else had to get Force training. Everyone else had to get Force training. She's just like, I'm the most badass fucking Force trainer out there.
This just shows how useless it was for, what is it, I can't remember what the freaking thing was. They weren't nanites. The metachlorians.
Chlorines? Is that what it was?
Yeah, the metachlorians were useless to begin with, because if your lineage had this, then cool, you had more, which meant nothing, because Leia did Force training and never really used it with a Jedi sword, ever.
Except that, and this is where I am frustrated with Disney, is because if we went into OG extended universe,
She did.
she did.
Correct. In Disney, they hinted at it, but they didn't dive into it, which drove me crazy.
I think Disney did us a big disservice when they cut off the entire extended universe and wiped out all those timelines, because we lost so much.
We lost value.
We lost so much fantastic material. The twins, there was so much there.
Yeah, instead of the twins, we got the sisters.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, we have 13 sisters that change depending on the season. Like, okay, so we have no true value of
I mean,
Demi Sith.
there was a lot of value there.
There was value,
and even,
but not in.
And even the actors state that, you know, the story changed as they were going through the movie.
Yeah.
Right? So George Lucas had a written out story, and he was like told that
This was the direction.
The extended universe wasn't going to be wiped out, and they were going to utilize the extended universe. And the moment that they got a hold of the IP, they did away with all of that. And they handed it over to people who didn't give a shit about the Star Wars universe. And all they tried to do was make money and drive woke culture.
I mean, yeah, I can easily agree on that.
You know, why is it that...
I don't like how the reason for most of these MCUs, as you were saying, or as these female actors or male actors that immediately know how to use it, is like, well, it's because of metachlorians, because of their family bloodline. It's like, if that's the response, okay, I need more. It's no different than what we've talked about before. It's like, well, we're gay. Well, why are we gay? Because we're gay.
Yeah.
Can you give me value? Can I get substance to your relationship?
Yeah.
For
Can
why
your
this
relationship
happened?
give me because like a straight relationship in a movie or a TV show will have reasoning and build up and substance behind it, and it won't just be you two fucking banging in the back room.
It was like, oh, well, they're gay. It was like, can I have substance?
Yeah.
Like, give me value. The same way. Okay, well, why can Ren just do this? Why can Finn not do this?
Well, that's the frustrating thing for me, is because I hated the fact that they, whatever fucking knockoff Solo's name was. What was knockoff Solo's name? Han Solo? Knockoff Han Solo's name?
You mean the black gentleman that was before him?
No. New knockoff Han Solo. And the fighter pilot that Rey meets.
Oh, the Hispanic dude. That one?
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name. I did like that he was actually one of the first main characters that was Hispanic. Like, I thought that was cool for lineage sake. And
I can't remember his fucking name, bro. How does it fucking matter?
I can put
Why
his
does it
face
fucking
on there.
matter?
I can't put his face on there.
What does that mean anything? I can't remember.
But also, in the same thing, what do we have? A prominent female character who was no name.
I can't remember his name.
What movie was that? That was
the seventh movie.
No, I'm trying to think of what the movie was called.
I don't know. Star Wars 7.
Star Wars 7. Star Wars.
There's people out here fucking dying on the inside right now.
The Force Awakens?
Yeah, The Force Awakens.
I mean, there probably is people dying. Oscar Isaac?
No, I'm talking about the movie character. I don't care about the actor. Yeah, Poe.
That's not who I was talking about. I was talking
what I'm
about
saying?
someone else. I was talking about the one where Star Wars. She's the daughter of the Imperial.
Oh, Rogue One?
Yeah, Rogue One.
Rogue One was a fantastic movie, okay?
I didn't have anything wrong with the movie. I enjoyed it completely. Like, she was a not main character, but Diego Luna, Cassian, was an amazing.
Yeah, he was a fantastic character.
Amazing.
He was a fantastic character.
And then you get the blind guy.
Dude, no, he fucking nailed that shit to the nth degree. He was in touch with the Force without being a Jedi, and that was fantastic to me, is because it is touched on in the extended universe that there are Force
Oh yeah, there's Force sensitive people.
In that, like, in the movies, that's hardly ever touched on.
Like so much in the extended universe, there's so many that are in defense of the king or in defense of, and they're like, well, they decide not to go to Jedi Temple or Jedi, but still given Jedi honors when they die.
And
that's insane.
And I'm sad because it also did away with Knights of the Old Republic, right? Because Knights of the Old Republic was no longer canon, and I'm sorry, but KOTOR was my fucking shit back in the day, bro. Like, I love KOTOR.
KOTOR was... I wish we had more games like that gave us, again, value.
Mm-hmm.
Value's honestly been my biggest thing this whole year. What is the value of this? But actually gave us more context to the story of what was going on.
Well, and the great thing about KOTOR is KOTOR was so different from Star Wars because in KOTOR, the Jedi and the Sith were everywhere, right? Like, the Jedi Temple was this thing, and there were Jedi all over the place. And the Sith were all over the place. You know, and yeah, you're rebuilding the Jedi Temple and everything. However, there were a bunch of them. And that added so much value to me because it made the world so much bigger. You know, you didn't just have Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader.
No, but this did touch on a lot of Jedi that left and then were banished and then put into a stasis, or into rock tombs, and they're touched on in the new Jedi Survivor, I think. Like, some of them are touched on there. I was like, okay, so we care about some of them, but not the all rest. Of them?
Yeah.
It was like, this dude wasn't even a big bad, and
he was
Knights of the Old Republic. Like, he
away.
wasn't.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I do have this game.
Well,
though.
I mean, Knights of the Old Republic, he was a big bad.
Well, yes, but some of the big bads aren't mentioned.
Yeah.
But some of the minor bads in
are
KOTOR
mentioned. Yeah.
are mentioned. I was like, okay, is that because what? Because they were all put in a very similar punishment on some random planet, unnamed, unmarked, and we go to these unmarked, unnamed, very similar looking planets in Jedi Survivor.
I do wish, like, in the canon Star Wars universe, we could delve deeper into the Sith being, like, crossing races and, like, being this big, like, organization, and they have their own schools and everything like that, and like it actually being like this low-key background fight between the Jedi and the Sith where they run into each other and they fight it out and shit.
I would love for a game to come out very similar to that, where most everyone's a Jedi, but if you're like the top whatever percent of players, you have the ability to be a Sith. Because Sith didn't have that many people. In every season of this, switch it.
That is not true.
What game do we have like that?
KOTOR.
I don't think many people are still playing KOTOR, though.
No, not the online KOTOR.
Okay.
I'm talking about OG RPG KOTOR.
I'm talking about, like, currently right now.
Well, fuck you, man.
Well, I mean...
I'm saying that the Sith were a big thing in the KOTOR universe.
Yes, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying I would like a modern game, because this is...
modern. Well, I would like a modern game where we're like 1,000 years past the Skywalker saga, and
the Force is balanced.
Yeah, and the Force is balanced again. Yes. And so we've got big Sith battles on one side and big Jedi on one side, and it's this big fucking clash.
I would love to see that, and your rank is distinguished by your kyber crystal.
Well, I mean, you would, but you know me.
On the Jedi side, I would like to see your rank is distinguished by your kyber crystal.
I don't do MMO RPGs anymore, so ever.
I don't. I play multiplayer games.
I don't even do multiplayer games.
You play multiplayer games with me.
I played co-op games with you.
Okay, that is a better way. We play PvE games together.
Yes,
because I'm so far removed from. I slept with your mom.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I'm just not competitive enough, and I don't have the time in my life to dedicate to fucking being yelled at by some fucking teenager.
Here you go, Mom. You want to put these on? Apparently they slept with you. You had intercourse with this individual. Would you like to talk to him? She goes, sure. So she puts on the headset. Back when I was in high school, I was like, I don't know you. And she just starts talking. They're just mouthing. She was like, oh, so I see this is your name. Can I just report you to? They're like, go ahead. And lo and behold, they turned on the Xbox
No
Live
way.
2 much longer.
No way. Holy
like,
shit.
Back when Xbox actually cared.
Yeah.
Like now
they don't
everyone
give a
sleeps with your mom.
Yeah.
Or they're going to murder you, or it's all hate speech. And
So, this is not quite a king for an issue, but it is kind of a king for an issue. But I had a thought.
Ooh, okay.
What
Thoughts
what if we were all required to no longer be anonymous on the internet?
I wouldn't have a problem with it.
I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Now, let me broaden the horizon. This goes into every site you ever go onto.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have a problem with people looking at what you're looking at porn-wise, internet, torrents, anything across the board.
Well, okay. So, no, I mean, hear me out, because I did want to, and I was already going to mitigate this, right? Because I was going to say that there would be sites where you could be anonymous, obviously, right? Because I do love freedom.
There should be some anonymity.
However, I would want a mechanism for there to be a site or sites, multiple sites, where you have to own who you are.
Anything with a social forum, I would agree, needs to have non-anonymity. Like a social forum.
Yeah.
Period. If you were going to, well, the answer to your Linux problem, Mike, is you suck. And then you get all these thumbs up, but you don't know who I am.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, no.
Yeah, no. And I think that this would mitigate a lot of the problems that we have with the internet, because what we have right now is people feel so free to say whatever the fucking
Keyboard
bullshit
warriors?
keyboard warriors. And it's like, well, how about you put your face on it?
My internet defense ribbon.
Yeah, how about you put your face and your name and your entire existence on what you say? Because you wouldn't say that to me in person.
No, most people wouldn't. And then
Like-
you get me and you as like
Like you
Okay.
look at me and you're like, you know, never mind. And I am not an intimidating individual.
but I'll still say it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, is like, I will say whatever the fuck I
I'll
want.
just speak my mind.
Yeah, I will speak my mind. But I expect, like, if you're afraid to talk to me, I'm not an intimidating individual. You shouldn't be afraid to talk to me. Or I don't think I'm an intimidating individual.
I mean, you're tall. Other than you being tall, no, nothing. You look scarier when you're wearing all your 80s propaganda. Your elbow suits with the pads and
Oh. Wait, really?
you just look more professional and more
Yeah.
direct with a lot of things. But you just looked like you had more business going on.
I do need to get some more suits. Because my body's changed. I had to donate pretty much everything I owned, except for like the shirts and the ties.
I need more ties. I've been looking for my ties. I don't know where they went.
No? Gone?
I had a box of like 60, 70 ties.
Damn, that sucks. My dad gave me a whole shit ton of ties.
I mean, I would change ties every day of the week.
I
'cause-
changed ties. You saw me. I wore different ties all the time.
So now I'm wearing a black tie, a white tie, an orange tie, a blue tie, and a red tie.
Bro.
I was like, I need more ties, but
Hey, bro. You want to go tie shopping?
no, I don't.
Come on, bro. Let's go tie shopping.
I already got a cowboy hat.
Come on, bro. Let's go tie shopping.
I already got a cowboy
Come
hat.
on. Come
I
on.
already got a
Let's
cowboy
go.
hat.
Let's go. Let's go to Salvation Army and go tie shopping.
Salvation.
Salvation
No,
Army.
because I know what they use their ties for. I'm good.
I mean, just wash them, bro.
Wash doesn't get out the sin.
Yeah. Yeah,
No.
it does.
No,
Yeah.
Jesus' blood is still
Yeah, it
thing on that.
does. Listen, blood for the blood god, okay?
Oh.
All right.
All right, we're gonna catch you guys on the next segment, and then we'll have a king for an issue and maybe another topic.
King for an issue.
This is name pending.
This
I'm
is name
Keeper.
pending. I'm Mike. That's Pearl. That's Cabo. That's
a
October.
Toby, and we got a Bo around here somewhere.
Bo is.
There's a murder mittens probably with Bo.
Man, where did that bird mittens go?
I don't know.
I ain't
he's
seen him for
he's
a
over
minute.
here clubbing baby Bo. I hear him. But
Hey.
throw a comment down below. I'll respond.
I need you to fuck that like button.
And as we say,
Tickle that subscribe.
All right, we'll catch you on the next episode. You guys have a good week.